bud.
Yep, I see that. Let's go. Okay, now I got to go on my Facebook. Okay, I'm going to kick you guys out real quick.
Okay.
Facebook. Oh, gosh. There we go. This is not just anybody who's watching this right now. It's not the smoothest sailing, but I don't know. I can see everyone. This is a mess. I don't know what is going on here, but this is. All right, playing the intro now. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to anyone who's in the podcast right now, tuning in. I got lots of stuff for you today, but to start off, as I'm always going to start it off this way, just kind of talking about some of the general rules, what you might need to know if you're planning on fishing this tournament. The first thing, the most simple thing, is that the fees. It costs $112 to enter the tournament. You do not have to have a membership to enter any of these tournaments. You purely can just hop in. One second, I need to mute this over here. Okay, apologies. Okay, $112. Do not need to be a member. You can enter. Anybody can enter the tournaments. You just got to go on Tourney X. If you want to be a member, it's $75. That enters you into the AOI race. It gives you a chance to qualify for TOC. You can fish the monthlies, and you can fish the elite side pot. So that's I think the membership is, I would pay the membership and do it. It's an awesome club. I just recommend that. But anyways, moving on. Small bass is $10. I believe half of that goes to the Real Heroes project. So you're donating a little bit of money, and then obviously the rest will go towards whoever wins small bass. Elite side pot is also $75. The team division is $225. If you're interested in doing that, find you a teammate, hop in. There's 2 drops this year out of 9 events. So you probably want to start now, or I guess you could start in 2 events if you wanted, but I would want to have those drops to give you a little cushion. But that's a team division. Good chance if you make it to TOC, you're going to make some money, and if you win it, you can make a lot of money. Then you can also, if you want to, you can donate just straight to Real Heroes. They're doing a great thing. So, I mean, I definitely would do that if you have a little extra money and you feel like doing something nice. As for the tournament itself, guys, launch is at 6:15 a.m. So that means you can get in the water and pedal to your location. If you get in the water before 6:15, you just can't leave your ramp. Obviously it's hard to be in the water and go at the same time. So if you get there early, get in the water, stay at your ramp, and at 6:15, that's when you can leave the ramp and go to your location. If you have a starting spot, you have 15 minutes to get there, and then at 6:30 is when you can make your first cast and start fishing. Obviously if you catch something before that, you're not supposed to, but if you were, it wouldn't count anyways because the picture would be before 6:30. So don't do that. You have 15 minutes to get to your spot, then you can start fishing. Last picture is at 2:29:59 p.m. So after that, nothing's going to count. Then you have 1 hour, as always, to submit your fish. Some of the areas on this lake are a little funky. So I definitely, if you know it's being weird and you can't submit your fish, I would probably get to the ramp before 2:30 or right at it and get to an area where you have some data or service and you can actually submit your fish. So you have 1 hour to submit your fish. If you don't submit them by 3:29:59, then those fish do not count. So keep that in mind. There's one area I will talk about that does have weird spotty service. So just that forewarning for that. And then the ceremony is going to be at 4 p.m. That'll be live weigh-in, and food and drink will be provided there. And that is it's at a church. Okay, here we go. Sorry. I thought I had that down. The address is on Tourney X. When you go into the Tourney X page, you go to the bottom, there's a little button, you click, it'll give you all the information. You can scroll down and see the location. I could tell you the address right now, but I imagine you don't have a pen and paper and you're not ready to write that down, but all that is on the page. Vinny has also made a few posts about it. So it's at 4 p.m., but Vinny's really good about this. If you are a casher and you're running a little late, he's not going to start the award ceremony without you, unless you're obviously like crazy late. But if you're just a few minutes late, he usually starts it a little bit later. But that's not saying be late on purpose. It's just saying if you are late, that Queen City is going to make sure you get your shine. And if you are later and they started already, they'll let you get your shine anyways. I've seen people, they show up like 30 minutes late and then they pop them on in the middle of the thing and say, oh, this guy's 5th or whatever, and you still get that shine. I'm going to share my screen with you guys because I want you to see this. Here we go. All right. So if you are new to Queen City and you're not sure about the rules, obviously you need to go read about the rules. 1 second. I messed up. Oops. Okay. When you fish Queen City, a couple things that are a little different than some clubs. 1, you got to have a catch board only. 2, you have to use a Queen City identifier. So one of the 10 tags, or I believe they have printouts online. You have to use that. You can't write it on your hand. You can't write it on a banana or whatever you decide to write it on. You have to have a Queen City identifier. Then after that, of course, you have to follow all state regulations. So, if you're not sure about those, then you need to go to the SDNR and go read those and know what the rules are. If you have a motor, you have to have the red and green light in the front. And then, of course, if it's not safe light for any kayak, you have to have the 360 light in the back. If your fish has the mouths open on your fish, you're going to get 1/4 inch penalty. I've gotten a few of those myself. Make sure you're paying attention to Tourney X and checking it, because you'll get a notification and you can go in there and fix it. Take multiple pictures of your fish, and if that happens to you, go in there and make sure you pick one that doesn't have an open mouth and submit it. Obviously you could contact the tournament director, which is going to be Vinny, and get that sorted out if it's an issue. But I've definitely had a couple of tournaments where I did not realize till the tournament was over because I wasn't checking my notifications. So I just recommend always check those notifications, make sure. Anyways, if you want to know all the rules, I'm not going to tell them all to you right now because that would take forever and it would be a little bit boring. But if you're not sure, go to the Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing page, go to this little tab right here, Files, click on Files, and then boom, there you go. You got your rules, click them, open them up. And it's a PDF, read through them. I recommend, if you have not, goodness gracious. If you have not read all the rules, what in the world is going on here? That's not good. I feel like that is weird that it's doing that. Okay, there we go. My bad. Guys, I'm a little new to this, so give me don't be too harsh. Okay, here we go. Okay. I don't want to read the full layout of the rules to you guys. So go in the file tab to read them. Any tournament club that you fish with, make sure you read all of the rules. It's pretty easy not to cheat, but there are weird rules in some clubs, and you just got to make sure you know all of them. I think it's just important to educate yourself and make sure I'm not messing up. I actually I'll tell you about a mess up I had last year. It's kind of funny. Most of the clubs I fish with, they all allow motors, so I'm pretty used to that. So I fished with the Foothills guys last year, and I didn't read the rules. I just went fishing, and I had a motor, and I was running around the lake. I kept seeing people without motors. I'm like, that's weird. Like, it's so windy out here and there's lots of waves. Like, why don't these guys run motors? Like, they're kind of weird. Anyways, I get to the ramp and I'm like, you know what? I bet you they're man-powered. So I looked at the rules, and sure enough, they were man-powered. This year is different, but last year they were only man-powered. I had to call the tournament director and tell him that I was using a motor all day and get myself DQ'd. But something so simple like that, you're used to fishing one way in a club, and then you go fish another. You don't know all the rules, and you make a little mistake like that, and it gets you DQ'd. So make sure you read. Just read them all, guys, if you've never fished this club before. Anyways, I'm done with my tangenting. We're going to go ahead and meet our first special guest, who is the event sponsor, Mr. John House.
There you go. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? All right, so tell us about yourself, John. How long you've been fishing with Queen City? Give us some details.
Yeah, so, well, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you shooting me a message, and Vinny's always kind enough to do this. I think this is the second or third year that I've been able to sponsor this event, so appreciate the love there. But obviously, for those that are tuning in that don't know, I am a competitor with Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing. I will be on the water Saturday with you, chasing the ditch pickles. But outside of that, my everyday job is I'm a local real estate agent here to the Lake Norman region, and going into my 9th year now. And been very blessed in that aspect of what I do for real estate. I'm 95% probably residential and dabble a little in commercial land development. But other than that, just a basic dude that likes to get out there. Actually, a guest that's on here tonight talked me into this whole shenanigan, and I actually fell in love with it. It's a great time to get out, be on the water. The camaraderie and everything else, and then obviously Queen City is a great club. But again, from a real estate standpoint, there's really not much to it. I mean, if you have real estate questions or needs, feel free to reach out. But otherwise, just looking forward to getting on the water with y'all.
That's awesome. And if you guys don't know about John House, he's also a pretty dang good fisherman. Was it a Hobie that you got 3rd place?
Yeah, second. That's my AI check down there. Oh, it's a real check. It's just an AI image, but no, it's to be honest with you, I skunked at this event last year and I sponsored it. So, really? And it wasn't intentional. Yeah, it wasn't intentional. I was not letting y'all have it. It was just the the cards were not in my favor. So, and that tends to be the common trend in February, at least for me, in different parts of the lake. And then anytime that there's a TOC on Lake Norman, I just suck too. So it happens.
Norman is I feel like it's a weird place. Like last year I did really well during the Catawba Clash. A week later, I went to the same area, did the same thing, caught nothing but 12 and 13 inches. So I think that's how those spotted bass are. They move a lot.
They move a lot. Yeah. They stay hungry all the time and just keep moving. But,
yeah. So,
but yeah, to answer your question, like I said, this is Mark can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say this is going into our 5th year of Queen City kayak bass fishing. I used to be a neighbor of Mark's, and he had talked me into getting a kayak. And the first thing I did was went on Facebook and found this group. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. He thought I was nuts. Now he does it too. So we're both nuts. But it's just been great. I really love the competitive atmosphere. Even though I have a hard time competing with a lot of you guys on different bodies of water, Clearwater and spotted bass seem to be a fan favorite for myself. And like I said, I just really enjoy being out there.
Let's go ahead and add. Are you guys teammates? I'm adding him in real quick.
We didn't do the team event this year. Yeah, we didn't do the team event. Yeah, I wasn't sure that I was going to make. Was it 7 out of 9? It just depends on my schedule and workload and that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to leave Mark hanging.
Yeah. So they were. I guess you were teammates last year, correct?
Yeah, last couple.
We've always been teammates, and when John. A funny story is, I said, let's get some kayaks, like he said. And then he said, let's go compete. I said, you're crazy. These are professionals, you know? And so our first time we went to Santee, I'll never forget it. He did a Norman event without me. And then our second event was Santee Cooper. And it was it 4 or 5 years ago? And the wind was ripping 20 or 25 miles per hour.
Oh,
I didn't know what I was doing. First time kayak, first time tournament. And Santee Cooper going in the swamp with 20 plus mile per hour winds.
Oh man, that sounds about right.
I said, "What are we doing? This is crazy." But of course, we stuck with it, and now we're here.
Yeah.
You stayed.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of fun. I never thought, I fished most of my life. I never thought I would. I always did it just as a hobby and have fun. I never thought of it as a competitive sport. I'm very competitive, but just never thought of fishing in that way until we started doing this. So now I look forward to it every time, even fishing in the winter when you're freezing, eyes are freezing up on your rods, still out there fishing. I don't know why, but that's what we do.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I love fishing when it's that cold, man. It's a lot of fun. But this weekend, pretty excited. I'm looking at the weather forecast.
Yeah.
It's going to be completely different than it was last year. Obviously, very similar time of year, but a little later, a little warmer, and no wind. Last year, if you fished Lake Norman last year, super windy. It seemed like power fishing kind of really was a big factor. A lot of people were catching them on crankbaits, spinner baits, and stuff like that. It was blasting wind. And I think, I could be totally wrong, but I think it was dominated on the lower end of the lake. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this tournament, it could be completely different because it's going to be slick, calm, sunny.
Yeah, could be some clouds, but the weather's good. And we had up here a cold spell that came through also just a couple of days ago. It was in the low 30s all night long. For a couple of days it was in the 30s. So, and then we just had rain. It rained for what, all day, John? And
a
little more than
4 o'clock. So
you're gonna have a little color in the water. I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit, but you're gonna have some color in the water that we normally don't have. It was crystal clear.
What parts of the lake get color like right away? Like when it rains like this, you guys are both local. So what parts of the lake get some stain right away from a little rain?
Yeah, I would say anything up on the north end that's coming out of the river system. So, and then if there's obviously any runoff spots, mid-lake or anything like that, it can churn it up. We didn't have enough rain today to churn the lake, turn it over. But it's definitely going to have some color up north end for sure.
Yeah, so that you're talking, Long Island as far as ramp goes. That comes right out of the river. That always has a stain to it, but that could be muddy, so you should be prepared for that. Some guys like that stuff, so
Yeah,
you won't see me there, but that's
spinnerbait.
Let's
see. Here we go.
Well, and if people are watching this that are not familiar with Lake Norman, I always like to say, we got 32,000 acres out there of water. So, one of the rules that I think Duran maybe hit on, if not, I'll hit on it, is have some respect for your fellow anglers. I think we have a 50-foot limit. As far as getting on top of each other, 520 miles of shoreline. So if you're up on the bank and you got another angler close to you, just move on for a little bit. There's plenty of shoreline out there.
And don't go around them and then start in front of them. That's not cool.
Yeah. People do that. 2 docks in front of them.
Yeah. Let's see. So I got it pulled up here. So you're saying this upper end right here is going to get some color to it. Okay. But not really. It's still going to be crystal clear in pretty much everywhere else on the lake, correct?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your definition of clear water, but watching a lot of YouTube videos, guys say 3 to 5 feet is clear water. I would say that at least 50% of the lake is 3 to 5 feet of visibility. Okay. If not more. So, yeah.
And it rained all day, just not a lot. So, it's going to be that upper end. Yeah, that's upper end. Or like John said, if there's any drainage or anything comes spilling in, then that'll carry some stain. So.
Or if there's any D.R. Horton subdivisions near one of the codes. They're not very good with the silk fences.
Oh, gosh.
We know that.
So, I was going to say, so if you've never fished Norman, some of you have, and you might not know this, there are 2 warm water discharges on the lake. There's one near, I believe, is it Queens? It's like the closest to warm water
Queens
discharge.
Pinnacle. Yeah, either one
Queens
of those.
Pinnacle.
I mean, Queens is basically right across the main channel there. And then down there at McGuire's, down at 73, down at the bottom, Collins Ford Dam.
Yeah, those are the 2 that it's closest to on the bottom end there, because the other warm water discharge is on the lower end, and the closest ramps are which ones to that?
So you're gonna have, like I said, on the lower end, you're gonna have Blythe and Beatty's Ford that are gonna be your 2 closest. Ramsey Creek too. Those would be your 3. It just depends on what direction you're coming from. Yeah.
Okay. And so that part of the lake, guys, if you is going to be a lot warmer. The closer you are obviously to the warm water discharge, the warmer the water is. But I don't know if that necessarily, basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but basically the fish will just be in a different, guess, time zone. Like, So like, they might be pre-spawn everywhere else, but near the warm water discharge, they might be spawning, or they might even be post-spawn. And we're in, late February.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely some. It depends on your style of fishing, but advantages or disadvantages depending on your style. So, if you have a style of fishing and you know what your style of fishing is, you're probably educated enough to know where to go for that style. But if you're just going out there to have fun and kind of learn and do whatever, spotted bass, like you said, they move all the time. So just pick your poison and go have fun.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do on this lake. It's definitely, I would say, probably one of the best winter fisheries around, because it has 2 warm water discharges. Obviously having one makes a big difference, but it's freaking got 2. So there's a lot of warm water and there's a lot of cold water too. But I don't know. I don't think I don't know what's gonna win it. I think with it being so calm, people are it's probably gonna be a lot of finesse fishing. I don't think it's gonna be power fishing like it was last year. It's just too calm.
The no wind doesn't go along with spotted bass. So
no, I will tell you guys, since we're talking about the lake, and most of us are local, obviously Queen City kayak bass fishing, but there may be some people traveling in. If you haven't been on the lake in a while, or if you've never been on the lake, they pull it down this time of year in anticipation for spring rain, or if we had snow, which we actually had this year. The lake's only at 95.9 foot right now. Full pond's 100 foot. It's down pretty low, and we're known for rock piles and we're known for shoals, and they come out of nowhere. This is a man-made lake. It used to be farmland. So even though we only have 3 horsepower motors, just be conscious of that, especially in the dark. I've been practicing for the last couple of weeks, and I've gotten stuck a couple times, and I know the lake. So just be cautious of that, because even at 5 miles an hour, I mean, it's fast enough to break a plastic boat. So it's
down 4 feet now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So just something to keep in mind. I ran up on I think it was a stump, honestly, but it about sent me. So
are they chewing?
They're chewing.
They're chewing. Yeah.
They're chewing. So watch me skunk again, but they're chewing in practice. So
they move around a lot. So they were
Yeah.
chewing today, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not good at Norman and certain, like every time we've come and just done like just Norman by itself, I never get a limit. I don't know what it is, but I always catch 3 and I can never.
I mean, if it stays true to what it was in practice, I think that there'll be a lot of limits. Now to find the size, everybody's going to be on the 12 to 15 inches. The ones that find the size are going to be fun, but honestly, I found a few pretty good ones in practice and one of them was just in the middle of nowhere. Like you're like, what the hell is this fish doing over here? But I mean, it sometimes luck is better than skill, but yeah, I mean, just keep casting. That's all I can tell you. Just keep casting. Yeah, if your lure's not in the water, you're not catching them. So
in Norman, I've seen so many times. Every time we go to Norman, someone catches a check on docks.
Yeah.
That's just like one of those. Like you said, just keep casting.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a dock fisherman, that I think they call it Hager's. It's off of McKendree Road up there off of the Brawley School Peninsula. Yeah, that thing is loaded with points and docks and stuff. I honestly wanted to sneak over there and practice yesterday. I didn't have time in my schedule. But just know, I mean, there's docks everywhere, but for some reason that one stands out. It's a big ramp. They never really send boat tournaments out there that I'm aware of, but there are a ton of docks around there. So just keep that in mind. Yeah.
And they're the docks. They're not like the Hartwell docks with your cables and mess that you got down there, Michael.
Yeah.
all floating docks on Norman.
Floating.
Sorry, all pole docks. Yeah, and which are really fun. I think they're really fun to fish because the fish will suspend on the poles, and you just let your
spotted bass
head or a what is it?
Drop shot.
A Ned rig, and let it fall down the poles. A lot of times they just sit on those. Kind of little sneaky trick that I've learned. I don't know if this is even a trick, but sometimes you just you let it fall and then you work it a little bit and then you just go like a couple times, let it shoot up and they'll bite it. Sometimes that's a good way to get the spots to bite. Like I've had them where they won't bite it and then I do that, get a little like 3 quick turns off of the bottom and they get really aggressive and start smashing.
So you had mentioned the Hobie event a couple of years ago. The second day there was a brush pile I left a fish on the first day, actually a couple fish. And actually ended up going back to that same brush pile underneath the dock. And I did that same thing. Like I saw it nose down to it, and then it started to peel off, and I just burned it like that to get it over top of the brush pile. And then that's when it did it. But I mean, that was like, I can't remember the exact timing, but I want to say that was like 2 minutes to go. And that's what got me a check. So, yeah.
Dang,
so it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
You guys brought up boat ramp tournaments. There actually is going to be 4 boat tournaments out of Norman. And I'm going to say this before I talk about which ramps it is. Guys, don't let it scare you that there's a boat tournament going out of your ramp. Like I let that happen to me a couple times and then find out some people cash checks out of that ramp, so don't let it scare you. It's a little, you might have to wait a few more minutes to get in the water, but that's pretty much it. And then if you have your 360 light and you're red and green like you're supposed to, and you make sure you're in a safe path, you should be totally fine. I wouldn't stress about it. But there's 4 ramps. Fishers of Men are going out of Queens. ABA is going out of Little Creek. Foothills Winter Trail is going out of Beatties. And it's called Club Tournament, is going out of Beatties as well. So 2 tournaments out of Beatties. It sounds like the biggest ones will be the Fishers of Men at Queens. That will be the biggest tournament going out of there. But again, guys, I wouldn't let that scare you. If you want to go to that ramp, go to that ramp. Don't shy away from the boats. Like I said, it might be a little annoying and you might have to kind of pick where you're going.
And if you didn't want to get near the boat traffic, you go to the other side of the bridge right there. You got Pinnacle. So if you're going to go to the north out of Queens and that was your ramp, go out of Pinnacle. Be careful. There's a couple good-sized boulders right there getting out under the water. They're marked if I recall. But so you can go out there or Hager's, like I said, off of McKendree. So if you're going to go south, you can go Hager's and avoid the boat tournament traffic, or you can go 500 yards north and go out of Pinnacle. So just keep that in mind.
Most of those boat tournaments go. They launch after you're already in the water anyway. So
Right.
Yeah, that's true. They usually wait till safe flight, correct?
yeah, so
Yeah.
you're already on the water and off to the side. So
Yeah.
if you get if you get in the water 15 minutes before you need to, then you'll be fine. And those are all small boat tournaments anyways. What are they? 30 boat
I'm not
tournaments or something? Yeah, something
Vinny
like that.
just shared that with me, so I wanted to make sure everybody was aware
definitely.
of it, so it wasn't a surprise. What was I going to say? Shaky head, guys, just so everybody knows, I feel like the shaky head, I could be totally wrong, is probably the most dominant lure on Lake Norman. So if you're not sure what to use, that's probably the move, is to put a shaky head on and
why are you telling all the secrets, Michael?
Oh my gosh, yeah, the biggest secret ever.
Yeah,
every way in. What'd you catch them on? Shaky head. Like, okay, yeah. It's it's more about where you put it than the color or any of that. I think it's just, if you can find the fish, a shaky head's probably a good option to catch them, but definitely not a secret. I know there's Mark's got some interesting lures. I don't know if you want to talk about those, but if you guys didn't know, John and Mark, they both have YouTube channels. If you want to see, if you're like, man, I want to watch some fishing videos on Lake Norman, check out Slow Boat Fishing's channel. He's got tons of videos of him fishing on Norman, and you get to see what I'm talking about. He uses some pretty interesting lures that nobody else uses.
I'll be using them Saturday as well.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them I was like, okay, I might have to try that, but yeah. That's pretty cool. But I think finesse fishing is going to dominate, guys. Last year, 76 3/4 won it, and second place was a 1/4 inch back, 76 1/2. And that day, somebody caught a 24, I think it was 24 1/2 inch.
Yeah, Joey Randall caught it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Fisher of Men website is saying they're going out of Pinnacle on Saturday.
Okay.
So
they must have.
Yeah, so just one of the two ramps. Just be cautious of it. $4,000 first place. It might have a few boats in it. But yeah, Pinnacle. That was the ramp they usually went out of. So that's what I was asking. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, 76 and 3/4 for the win, 76 1/2. I think it'll take very similar amount. But guys, if you never, again, I keep saying this, if you never fish Norman, there's a lot of big spotted bass in Norman. Like, there's a lot of 17 to 20 inch spotted bass. Like, if you want to catch a 20 inch spotted bass, Norman is definitely one of the places to do it. Like, there is a lot of big ones, and they usually kind of stay together. I know last year during the Catawba Clash, I found on a brush pile, and I'm not kidding you, there was probably 50 of them. All of them were like 18 to 20 inches. It was ridiculous. I only caught 3 of them, but I could see them. They would come out. It was so crazy. Like, the brush pile looked like there was nothing on it. Like, it was like, oh, there's no fish in there. And then I threw my lure over there. No. All of them come out chasing it, man. And I caught one, and it was like I think it was like a 19 3/4. I'm like, holy crap. And I threw it in there again. Caught another one. It was 18 1/2. I was like, all right, this thing, but I couldn't get any more of them to bite. But they all were about the same size. And I'd see them come up. They'd all follow it up to the boat. So there is crazy big spotted bass. I think you're going to have to, to win it, probably, I don't know. I was going to say a mixed bag of spot. Like, you're going to have a kicker largemouth.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Spots. Yeah. Well, spots on Norman are so long, though. You could win it with spots, but just be. But I thought I was on a honey hole like that this weekend, or last weekend, Duran. But there's a difference. You're on it with bass. I did the same thing. There was probably 30 of them on there as catfish.
Oh my gosh!
I thought I found the golden ticket. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? And then that was not the case. But difference between Duran and John. But hey, I still hold the record on Lake Norman unless somebody beat me, but I don't think so. I had 78 3/4 in an August event. And bright sun, still calm weather. So it can be done.
What time of year was it?
August. Yeah. Of course, crazy. It was a charity event, but hey, we'll take it.
That's wild, man. So were they all spots, or what did you have?
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I'd have to go back and try to find some pictures or something. But
a largemouth in there.
You had to.
largemouth. Yeah, but
because you caught it
one
right
of those
before.
days, man, I was just every time I set the hook, I'm like, oh my god, another one. But it was like 20 in 1975, 1905, and a 1925 or something.
Gosh,
So,
dang, yeah, that is crazy, man. That's wild. And
Yeah.
I hope one day, and obviously, if you guys know, don't say anything because it's probably a secret. But one of these days, I hope I can figure out how people catch those big largemouth because I've never caught a big largemouth out of there. The biggest
On
limit
Norman?
I caught at Norman was 74.5. All of them were spots. All I catch there is spots. Like, I'll catch largemouth, but they're always really small. But there's a trick to it. I know there's some guys that know exactly what to do, where to look. I don't know where to look. I'm guessing probably towards the back of the creeks, but
You have to go back to your roots, Michael, before you had the little forward-facing sonar.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a little different. So.
Sometimes it's okay to turn it off. If anybody was wondering, it's okay to turn your forward-facing sonar off sometimes. Last year the TOC day one, I caught like 81.25, all on forward-facing sonar. That wind kicked up. I thought those fish were still there. By the way, they wouldn't eat nothing, man, and I wouldn't give up. I couldn't. I would not let it go. And if I would have just turned that dang thing off, I might have had a better day out there. But guys, I know it's a spotted bass fishery, but sometimes if it's not working, you got to cut your losses and try to do something. I'm trying to learn from Bennett Nall. He is so good about that. Like, he knows when to just, what I'm doing is not working, I'm going to do something else. And that's honestly, I would say that's the best fisherman to do that. Jacob Wheeler they talk about Jacob Wheeler like that. He literally he's like, oh, it's not working, I'm going to do something else. And so if it's not working, guys, sometimes it's okay to just throw it out. Even if you're like, especially like pre-fishing will do this to you. You'll go pre-fishing, you'll catch them in a certain spot, you'll catch them doing a certain thing, and then you get to the tournament, completely different lake, they're acting weird, they're not in the same spot. That's when you just say, all right, I'm just going to start fishing. Like, that's like tip of the day. It's okay to just stop. Like, what you were doing, it's not working no more. Time to do something else, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, these are different conditions. We had a couple weeks of wind, a cold streak, and then we had rain. So if you fished the last couple weeks, which I did, then all of a sudden Saturday is going to be sun with no wind. So, whatever you thought you knew, you didn't know. Come Saturday.
Do they start sucking to the bottom when it gets sunny and calm like this? Because like my experience, because I like watch them all day. I go fishing I'll go for 12 hours and just watch the fish. Like, I fish with live scope and I watch them, but I've noticed a lot lately, like the sun gets out, as things start to calm down, the fish kind of like drop to the bottom. And this, because I've been fishing, mostly largemouth fisheries currently, but do spots do the same thing? Do they kind of just disappear to the bottom when it gets like that? Or do you still see them floating around?
Sometimes they disappear.
Yeah. Sometimes they just vanish altogether, but I would say it depends on where you are on the lake. Because like I said, no matter how many fish they've eaten in a day, it seems like they're always eating. So if you can find them, if you're around fish, they'll still bite, at least from my experience. And I'd probably go on a limb to say I'm probably on Lake Norman at least 90% spots of my catches. So but just because of the length, like I personally feel, I know that it's not going to win on a lot of lakes, and I know that there's going to be guys in our group that think otherwise, but for me, my mindset is we're going on length. I could care less what it weighs. I'm going to go for the long, skinny ones. So,
them spots are long and skinny, and they fight like freaking crazy, man. You catch a 20-inch spot, it's like catching a catfish, man. They run, and it's pretty awesome.
You never know if it's till it gets to the boat how big it is. It could be a 15-incher, and you thought it was a 20.
You're so right about that. I can't tell you how many times on Norman I hook a fish. I'm like, oh my God, it's huge. I get to the boat, I'm like, oh my, it's like a 13, 14-incher.
Yeah, if you ever watch NC Bassin, he does it all the time. He catches so many fish on Norman spots, and they fool you every time. But he's always saying, it's a big one. Because you don't know. They feel like that. Every one of them feels big. So they outperform their size, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
We were talking about this a little bit before the podcast started, but I just wanted to put this out there. If you're thinking about going Long Island, it did rain quite a bit yesterday, correct?
Yep.
Today, yeah.
And today. Just a warning, sometimes that area, like right there where Long Island is, it'll just blow out with red clay and mud. And in my opinion, and I'm not a professional whatsoever, but I just think that's a bad idea. Some people might go up there and smash them, but if it's just blown out with like grainy red clay, it's really hard to catch fish in those conditions. And if you're not used to that, I'm just warning you that it's like I've drove over that bridge so many times after it rains, and I look down there and it's not even chocolate milk. It's like something else. It's like red and that would be really tough to catch fish in. I know people do really well up there, but probably not after a heavy rain like that this time of year, at least.
Yeah. I know one particular angler that likes to be up there. Not going to say his name, but somebody will be up there. Yeah.
Everyone knows who you're talking about right away.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add before we shut it down? If let's say somebody who's never fished on Norman and and you have one thing you could tell them so they feel a little more confident or they don't make this mistake, what would you say?
Well, I guess I'll get back to the rule aspect of it from a tournament standpoint. This is the first tournament of the year, so make sure you got your Queen City identifier. Make sure your identifier code's written properly. If you're somewhat dyslexic like myself, make sure you've written it down properly. Like you said, make sure your nav lights are on if you're running a motor, 360 light, even if you're not. But don't beat yourself before you leave the ramp type deal. Make sure your PFD is on. Just things like that. And if you are running a motor, make sure your registration's current. Make sure you got your fishing license current, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm sure Vinny's going to check that stuff for the winners, but just a heads up on all that.
Yeah, and if you start, as far as fishing goes, if you start spinning out, just start throwing that shaky head under docks. You may not catch always the biggest fish, but you'll catch fish.
Oh yeah.
What did who said it? Alfredo said it. I can't remember who said it. When I first started fishing, every 10th dock has a fish under it. Yeah. So if you just fish every dock, every 10th one has a fish under it. I think that's good, actually. Now, whether big fish, that's a different story. So.
And you never know when you might those docks. I have heard from so many people. You fish 50 docks. Let's say you fish 50 docks. One of them docks is gonna have some big ones on it. Like you'll just run into
don't
a
know
dock.
which one.
Yeah, you never know, and you might never run into that dock. But if you do, it could change your whole day in like a very short period of time.
Yeah. So, but no, man, I just again appreciate everybody for tuning in. I don't even know how many people are on, but thanks again to Queen City for allowing me to sponsor the event. Can't wait to see you guys out there. And then just so you know, I heard you on the intro there. Weigh-in is at my church again this year. So it's Williamson's Chapel United Methodist Church. It's on the corner of Williamson Road and Brawley School Road. If you're coming up from the highway or coming down on the highway, it's exit 35, which is Brawley School Road exit. You'll take that east and you'll run right into it. Huge parking lot. So if you have a trailer, don't worry about that. And then it's in the fellowship hall, so you'll be pointed in there. But it's plenty large enough for everybody. I don't even know what we're sitting at for participants, but hopefully we hit 50 or 60 in my guess. So
like 40 earlier today, but I don't know.
Oh, it's gonna
40 already. We might hit 80. Yeah. So, but especially with the weather this weekend, everybody's itching to get out. So, but cool, man. Well, Mark, you got anything to close it out?
No, I think that's it. Just have a good time tomorrow. I'll see you guys at the ramp, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's about 60 of us. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for hopping on. You guys have a good night.
All right. Have a good